the e-bike era is upon us. And I think sometimes when an era is upon us, we think we just have to go with it. And that's just because a manufacturer invents something doesn't mean we have to endorse it or embrace it or buy it for our kids simply because it exists and a lot of people are doing it. So let's talk.
Resisting that urge for other things for my kids, like the current Nido craze too that's going on.
I don't know what that is.
I refuse to pay $20 for a squishy thing.
Okay. So an e-bike is different. Also, it's super expensive. Like
they're
an e-bike
expensive.
It's no cheap investment, right?
So, Sam, when we were growing up, and you're a little bit older than I am, this wasn't like a consideration. You had a bicycle.
No, I had a bicycle.
You
I rode it all over the place too. It was my source of transportation and also a source of movement. Like I would show up sweaty at my friends' houses because I rode my bike there.
But on an e-bike, depending on the type of bike, you might be pedaling or pedal assist, but you're also not having to put in the same amount of physical effort as you would on a regular bike.
That's something that worries me about, and who knows where this is going. This is like a back of my mind worry, not the top of mind worry. But I think of other inventions that came our way and we didn't realize what some of the long-term consequences would be until we started facing them as a society. And I wonder if the advent of e-bikes is going to be even less movement for our children.
Which is not good.
Right. And I mean, we already have a crisis of gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? Where you don't move your body. What's it called when you have
sedentary? You're sedentary.
You. Yes. Perimenopausal brain took over right there. Yeah.
But I also think, and this relates to some other episodes that we've done, and when we've talked about executive functioning, child development hasn't changed. We might have this great new technology and this great new e-bike out there, but the executive functioning of a middle schooler hasn't changed just because we have these fancy new e-bikes. So their decision-making and responsibility and impulse control and motor planning and recognizing danger and acknowledging road rules hasn't changed.
Also, I think agree. And one of the things that we know, there's research around adolescent risk-taking. And we know that when kids are in packs of friends, their tolerance for risk-taking goes up because of this audience factor. And there are studies to show this, but the studies are around, you put a kid this was done by Larry Steinberg out of Temple University, and you put an adolescent in a driving simulator, and without a perceived audience, the kid's risk-taking it's not tons greater than an adult. But when you bring peers in and you have the peers say into a microphone, "Hey, we're watching you, buddy. Good luck in the simulator." So the kid knows there are peers watching. He's much more likely to push it at yellow lights, to take driving risks in a simulator. So he's more accident prone. That's in a driving simulator. So we know that this extends into real life, which is why your kid can be like, I know what to do. I know what the right decision was, and I didn't make it. And the reason was because friends were around. And so these e-bikes are a major, certainly kids can get from A to B by themselves, but they're riding in packs, which means they're susceptible to that. I say,
not when being bad kids or purposely reckless. This is just
generally
psychology.
No. Generally,
this is psychology.
They're just their friends are around, and if someone makes a choice to take a risk, then the rest are gonna be like, well, I guess. Okay, I have more tolerance for it in a crowd. And then we may look at that and say, and this is the get off my lawn ladies, you kids today.